was unusual. That ball actually rolled out before it got to the head pin. When the ball rolls out, what happens is it goes down the lane, it loses energy, and then the direction that the ball starts to turn, it actually stops and ends up kind of going straight. So that ball started to hook back towards the pocket, rolled out, and lost its energy and didn't catch enough of the head pin. Leaves himself with an easy spare of the 2-pin. You hear that popping noise, Jim, when Rick Steelsmith lets go of it. We'll talk a little bit more about what's happening with that popping noise at his release.
Well, we'll see how the young man, who's only 25 years of age, can handle his first live TV appearance right here. He's well known in amateur ranks, though, isn't he?
A lot of experience in the amateur ranks.
Won the Bowler's Journal double twice. A couple of Megabucks titles.
Uh-oh.
And the big thing for Mike, being his first telecast, is how he handles the first couple of frames. He's gonna be nervous. He's just got to get over those early frame jitters. What he needs to do here, 2 rules of thumb. You can get the ball to the left side of the head pin, throwing the head pin into the 610 over in here this way, or you can make it by getting the ball in this area.
Hey, the power side of the tweener.
He is the power side of the tweener. He's got a lot of axis rotation, and making that split right there should really relax him. Or I shouldn't say split, that's a washout. He's going to get the ball to the right side of the head pin. The ball's going to deflect off the head pin and carry the 610 out. He couldn't script it any better. Now, deep breath. Avoided disaster the first frame.
Told me just a few minutes before the telecast. Pressure is self-imposed. It's what you put on yourself.
You know, and his thought process this week was thinking in the now, keying on shot making, keying on something that, you know, that he can keep running through his mind so that he doesn't get sidetracked. I want you to listen now to the sound of Rick Steelsmith's release. Again, coming up light, but that popping sound is because of the fact that Rick Steelsmith buries his fingers into his finger holes. Those grips are sucking on the end of his fingers. He puts them in past the first knuckle, in between the first and second knuckle. His grip almost becomes a conventional grip. It's kind of a semi-fingertip, but he buries his fingers so deep that he gets that suction, that popping noise, and to him, that's what feels really good. That's a great feel. It's not his thumb. Again, he missed that because the ball actually rolled out and didn't have enough energy to cover the back pin, the 8-pin. Doesn't catch enough of the 2-pin. The 2-pin has enough weight to make that 15-pound ball deflect and go right. Now, excuse me, Jim, go ahead.
Fair and open for, kind of interesting, you know, he went home after we were all together at the Johnny Petraglia Open there, just outside of Princeton, New Jersey, and worked with a sports psychologist, right?
Worked on his mental game. He said he was mentally fresh coming into this week. Now, see, that ball didn't stop. And what he does when the ball starts rolling out is he gets his hand to rotate around the side of the ball more, increasing the back end reaction. Watch his hand rotate around the side of the ball, and you're not going to see this ball stop when it gets into the 1-3. Keeps going.
Mike with a spare in the first, working on a strike in the second. And the Machuga clan there. Shelley and Carrie are both elementary school teachers back at Elk Valley Elementary, and Lori, who was on the far right-hand side, is actually working on her doctorate at the University of Akron. That's Lori on the far outside, who just turned and talked to her sisters there, the All-America softball pitcher from Allegheny College.
That was a nice look she gave her sister, too, because she knows what it's like to leave a solid 8. That was a great shot that Mike threw there. Unfortunately, he doesn't capitalize on the strike in the second. Should have had a double.
Brother needs some help.
Great break there, but you know what? He didn't get the break on the right lane. This time he does get the break. Right through the face with all that angle. Normally his big split time. Gets a great break, only leaving the 4-7. Oh.
Their dad, Dick, is in Las Vegas tonight, watching at, well, one of the establishments with the sports book. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, we can't plug that, can we?
But we could say it's just east of Samstown.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now let's watch Rick Steelsmith's ball reaction down the lane. Let's see if it continues or if it rolls out.
Wawa believes there's nothing wrong with craving more. We all want more zing, more tang, more
Well, again, a compensation of leaving the 2-8 the last time on that lane. That ball jerked so hard it went right through the face. What he needs to do is he needs to get the ball to the right of the 3-pin. Right in here. The ball will take the 6-10 out. The 3-pin goes over here, takes the 7-pin out.
Back in '89, Rick had a terrible, terrible shoulder injury. Missed almost a year and a half, I think, right? But really affected him mentally.
It was actually it was harder on him mentally than it was physically. It was 18 months of rehabilitation. Great shot. When Rick first came out on tour, Jim, he was probably one of the top 3 players on the tour. The tour hadn't seen the likes of him. As we take a look at this great conversion, we hadn't seen the likes of a Rick Steelsmith since the last time I can remember Marshall Holman coming out on tour. High expectations. He was touted as the next Marshall Holman. Had that terrible injury, had to adjust his game, and he told me last night he went from being an instinctive player to a mechanical player. Come on. Oh, yeah! A little left tap on the 10. That's just enough for something like that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff Rick Steelsmith needs to happen to turn things around. Headpin's going to go to the sideboard. It's going to come across looking for the 10. And just enough to knock that 3-6 wood down. And what a great break, and he knows it.
It's like your bank account, teetering.
Oh, thanks.
Spare, strike, spare, spare for Mike.
See how the youngster handles that break that Rick Steelsmith just got. Ball comes in light, leaving just the 2-pin. Mike has to adjust his game a little bit. He's standing in front of the ball return on the left lane, giving him the angle that he needs to play, but you know, he's got to move up further on the approach than he is on the left lane. That takes a lot of work and a lot of practice to be able to repeat shots doing it.
You know, when he first got hooked on bowling, he said it was kind of routine. Everybody did it. It was kind of like going to school, something everybody did. And he really didn't appreciate the game until he got to the University of Nebraska.
Well, you know, his grandparents also owned a bowling center. He did all of his bowling there, and they would literally have to pull him off the lanes. He would bowl until his fingers were raw.
Well, and he'll be the first to tell you he wasn't very good until Bill Straub took over at the University of Nebraska. Worked on his timing.
Great shot there. 6-pin goes up and around the 10. We call that the ringing 10. Our statistician, Paul Kaler, is telling me that the lanes are starting to get a little wet dry. Watch the 6-pin. This one right here. Up and over the 10.
It's the battle of the right-handers. The youngster from Erie, Pennsylvania, Mike Machuga, in his first televised appearance up against Rick Steelsmith. The first semifinal match. Rick looks for PBA title number 3.